Alright guys, welcome back. I know what you're thinking.
Whoa Cameron, 2 Garden Warfare 2 videos in a row. What kind of sick individual are you?
Well, hear me out, okay? There is brand new Garden Warfare 2 DLC out today. Alright, not DLA, not DLB, but brand new DLC. And, you know, I didn't pay much attention to it at first. Something to do with Zombopolis. That's about as much attention as I paid to it. But according to the dashboard, it was a 5+ gigabyte download. So that kind of told me that there was a fair amount to it. We're going to have a look at the mailbox here. This will tell us all that we need to know. Here we go. Trouble in Zombopolis. Part 1 has arrived. Toxic Citron is leading the charge of the elite plants to destroy Zomboss's Ultra Zombot 6000 factory and its guardian, the crunchy-caped Crusader Breakfast Brainz, with rechargeable overshield. What is new in the game? New map, Zombopolis, new characters, Toxic Citron and Breakfast Brainz, 1200 new customization items, character balancing and gameplay improvements. And in case you weren't aware of who's on Hero Showcase this week, it is the Power Cactus and the Rugby Star, like we actually give a shit. So the first thing I'm seeing straight away is these 2 brand new characters, Toxic Citron and Breakfast Brainz. Now, I actually already have a piece towards one of them, because if you go to the sticker shop here, there is a brand new pack available, which is what we're going to be focusing on today. You can get the Zany Zombopolis packs. Contains 5 items and is a mix of Zombopolis customization items and consumable items. There is also a possibility of getting a Toxic Citron or Breakfast Brainz character piece. Now, when I first heard about these 2 characters, I thought, well, surely, since, you know, I made the point in the last video that the Frozen Citron was the last character that I didn't have any pieces towards, surely if I went and opened 2 character packs, I would just get these 2 characters. I actually kind of tried it out and it didn't work. I got the Painter and then a piece towards the Yeti Chomper. But I opened one of these Zany Zombopolis packs and straight away I got a piece towards the Toxic Citron. So what I thought I would do today, since we have 300,000 coins, is we're going to be opening some of these Zany Zombopolis packs. There's 1200 customization items to get and there are 2 brand new characters to get. So hopefully this pack opening today can go at least slightly better than our previous ones have gone. Or at least in the last month or so anyway. Let's start off with a pack here. It's going to be... Okay, so we didn't get any character pieces there. We've got Cyber Breather, Novelty Windmill Shades, Sneeze Guard, Head Wound, and a Brown Coat Zombie. Well, that's definitely the best part of the pack for me. Fuck the Cyber Breather. There is nothing that beats a Brown Coat Zombie. So I'm not entirely familiar with how this DLC works. I looked at the website a little bit just to try and give myself a rough idea, and from what I understand, Zombopolis is actually a brand new map for Turf Takeover. They mentioned Gardens and Graveyards and Herbal Assault, and they said that it's the biggest map that they've ever created. So presumably we'll just have to head into Turf Takeover at some point, and there is a chance that we'll be able to play on this new map. I mean, I can only presume that's how it works. Second pack, come on, let's start seeing some more of these character pieces, or maybe some more cool customization pieces. There we go, we've got a piece towards Breakfast Brainz right there. That's our first piece towards him. Got Techno Goat, Mobo Shades, no entry, and a Weedwood Shield. So there we go, we now have a piece towards the Breakfast Brainz and the Toxic Citron, so it's all bodes well. We can do at least 5 more of these packs. I'm going to say 6 because I'm only 4k coins away from being able to do a 6th one. So we're going to say 6 more packs. Here's the first one. Let's see what we're getting this time. Another character piece maybe? No, not this time. We've got a Sunny Spotlight for the Sunflower, Super Playbook 5000, Buckethead Zombie, Bamboo Goggles, and Polka Dots. Okay, not too bad. I say not too bad. It's not really what we're looking for. What we're looking for is these brand new character pieces or some really wacky looking customization pieces. So what about this one? Again, no character piece in that one. We've got Techno Sight for an Imp. We've got a Muzzle Mouth for an Engineer. Classified Cap for the Corn. A couple of Team Retries and Knitting Club. Honestly, I was expecting to get a few more character pieces than this, but obviously they're not supposed to be the most common things in the world. So what about this? Again, we didn't get one. Wow. Got a Striped Propeller. Got a Condiment Mohawk. What the fuck is that? Got a Mitt Mask, Heelweed, and Super Braces. Wow, okay, that's new. So yeah, I'm seeing some nice stuff already. There's another piece towards the Toxic Citron. Okay, that's looking good. So we're only 3 pieces away from completing him. Got Shaky Spikes. That looks like that's for a Citron as well. Redline Rims. Got Zombie Cooking Academy. And a couple of P-Gatlings, or 3 P-Gatlings. There's another piece towards that Toxic Citron. So we're getting close to getting him unlocked, actually, which isn't too bad. Let's go ahead and open the next one. We've got 3 of these left. Come on. Oh, no, we haven't got 3 of these. We've got 2 of these left. This is the second to last one. Ultra Bright. That's a wand for a rose. That looks nice, actually. I'm liking the look of that. That actually looks quite nice. Tell you what, we're going to have a field day customizing our characters after this. We've got another cape for a rose as well. I'll tell you what, some of these customization items look really nice. I now have to head out into the backyard and try and rack up 4,000 coins, so I won't bore you with that. I'll see you in a sec. Alright, so we have our 4,000 coins now. We're going to go and do one more zany Zombopolis pack, and then we might just head on to Turf Takeover and see if we can get a game on this brand new map. If not, then I might have to leave it there. But I want to have a bit more content in this. So let's open this last pack, see if we can get another one of these character pieces. We're not going to finish any of the characters, but we can at least make some progress. Okay, apparently that's not going to be the case, but that is a very, very nice accessory for a rose there. I've got to say, I'm liking that. Stable stones, boxer bot. Okay, I really like that. That is amazing. That looks so good. And we've got some ZM frames as well. Alright, so it took me a little while to find one, but I actually managed to get a couple of games on Zombopolis. First of all, they weren't lying when they said that this map was big. Yeah, it's pretty big. And the way that this one works is the same as a normal Herbal Assault match right up until the last bit. And then you have this massive Zombot with this big-ass overshield, and basically you have to take down the overshield, which I think is controlled by some external device or something. And then when the shield is down, you have to attack certain parts of the Zombot to actually take him down. Note that when you take the overshield down, it'll only be for a little while before it goes back up again, so you might have to do it multiple times. But basically the plant's job is to destroy the Zombot, the zombie's job is to defend it. I know that sounds pretty mental, but I swear to God that's how it works. Now I kind of sucked ass in these games, not gonna lie, but I'll use them regardless so that I can talk to you guys about some of the other changes that have been made. So aside from the changes that we've already talked about and just some random bug fixes and all that other shit, there's been quite a bit of character tuning as well. So that's characters getting buffed, nerfed, all that sort of stuff. So going through each character, if you're a Citron main, then you're gonna love this update. Basically every Citron has been buffed, with the exception of the Electro Citron. He's kind of been nerfed and buffed at the same time. His regular shots have been buffed a lot, but his charge shots have been nerfed. As far as the other Citrons go, they've basically reduced the heat that your weapon generates, so you'll be able to fire longer before you overheat, as well as the regular and frozen Citron both getting damage buffs. So if you're a Citron player, happy days. I won't go into too much detail on corns, but long story short, they've buffed every single corn, except for the barbecue corn. And the barbecue didn't get like a massive nerf, they've just reduced his magazine capacity a little bit. I'd say the party corn probably got the best buff of the lot. Now moving on to roses, and again, if you're a rose player, then you're gonna love this patch. All the roses have been buffed. The two best buffs in particular going to the fire and frost rose. Frost rose got the biggest buff, and I'm really glad that she did, because as someone who really enjoys playing the rose, I have to say, she was fucking useless. It says here that she now has increased projectile movement speed, increased damage on her mid and max charge shots, and an increased rate of fire. So who knows, hopefully this will open up a few more doors for the Frost Rose. Moving on to Imps. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love using Imps, especially the Drake and the Shrimp. But I think this patch has been quite generous to Imp players. Basically, all the buffs are Z-Mech related. They've reduced the deployment cooldown time by 30 seconds, which is quite a lot in itself, and they've increased the stamina by 20 seconds as well. So essentially what this means is not only will your Z-Mechs now last longer, but you'll be able to deploy them more often. There's also a specific patch here for the Z7 Imps mech. They've buffed the Omniblade and the Biotic Pull, so his LB and RB skills basically. Now when I was first reading through this, I was kind of thinking to myself, they've buffed quite a few characters, not just variants, but like characters as a whole. And last time this happened, as far as I remember, the roses got the absolute shit end of the stick. And at the time, rightfully so, because they were stupidly OP. But I thought surely there's going to be at least one class that's just been absolutely shit on. And I wouldn't say that this class has been shit on as such, but it's been nerfed significantly enough that when I play online, I'm noticing a difference straight away. This time around, the short straw has been pulled by Super Brainz. Now, this nerf shouldn't be that surprising. It was something that I was truthfully hoping for, but at the same time, I kind of saw it coming. It's not big enough to make Super Brainz redundant, but it will hopefully have solved an issue with the class. That issue being people who just straight up abuse Turbo Twister. Yep, Turbo Twister has finally been nerfed, and it's quite a big one as well. They've reduced the damage absorption, they've reduced the movement speed, they've increased the cooldown, and they've taken away the ability to cancel it as well. That's the only change that's been made to the class as a whole, but there is one unlucky variant that's been nerfed even further, and there's no prize for guessing which one. It's Electro Brainz. It was always going to be Electro Brainz. It says they've significantly reduced the damage of his ranged attack, as well as reducing the speed of his punches. Now, I wouldn't have personally said that he was OP, but I guess I can see what other people thought that he was. To be honest, I only ever had a chance to use him like twice, so I ain't got a clue. Moving on to Deadbeard. Now, apparently EA have taken Brain's cancellation ability and they've just given it to Captain Deadbeard, because you can now cancel out of the barrel blast without actually having to detonate it. Other than that, Sharkbite has had a bit of a nerf on his explosion damage, and Captain Cannon has had a pretty good all-around buff. To be fair, he needed one. And speaking of needing a buff, the Electro P has finally been patched. They've buffed projectile movement speed and explosion damage, so hopefully he'll become a nice little class to use now. No major news as far as chompers go. I mean, I was kind of hoping EA would just take him out of the game, but I guess you can't have everything you want. Very slight buff to the chomp thing, not a lot other than that. Sunflowers have had a generous little buff with this update, actually. It says here they've increased the damage of all sunflowers by 10 to 20%. Not sure which figures will apply to which sunflower exactly, but it looks like I'm going to be using the vampire flower again. Not a whole lot left to go through. Jade Cactus has had a slight nerf, but other than that, nothing. Foot soldiers have been left alone apart from the tank commander, who's had a damage nerf. And finally, I'm afraid your favourite scientists have seen a bit of a nerf as well. And by favourites, I mean the zoologist, the marine biologist, and the infamous chemist. Starting with the zoologist, as if he didn't already have fuck all range, they've reduced it even more. They've also reduced his clip size from 9 to 6, which I think is going to be the key change, because with 9 shots, he could drop absolutely anyone. But with the 6 shots, you'll only be able to drop a corn if you land every single hit, and that's going to be even harder now with the reduced range. And if you want to take on a Citron, you might need a bit of help, which is good because I played the zoologist a fair bit, and certainly I found it way too easy to drop even the tanky characters. So that covers the zoologist, and as far as the other two go, these nerfs aren't quite as fancy, they're just straight up damage nerfs. Thank fuck for that. Chemist damage has been reduced by 4, Marine's damage has been reduced by 5. How much difference that'll make I can't really say because I don't have either of them, but generally what I'm seeing as a result of this update is a hell of a lot more Citrons. Regular Citrons and frozen Citrons. And I played around with the frozen Citron a little bit, and honestly, it's too easy. And it's funny because people were saying to me before the update that the frozen Citron was a little bit broken, and I could see that because ice characters are good enough as it is, but then all of a sudden you've got a character with a fucking laser beam that freezes you, and you'd be frozen so easily that even if the Citron couldn't finish you off, you die anyway because you're standing in the middle of no man's land with your knob hanging out, and you're frozen, so you just have to stand there. But now the piss easy freeze beam is doing even more damage to you, and it's generating less heat, so you got to put up with it for longer. So make no mistake about it, I cannot wait until the next pack and play. I'm going to have an absolute field day playing as the frozen Citron. All I'm saying is I'm not really sure it needed to be buffed in the first place, and I wouldn't be surprised if the frozen Citron now becomes the new Electro Brainz. But either way, that's going to be all for today's video, and I wouldn't normally make 2 PvZ videos in a row, but I coincidentally decided to make a pack and play on the same day that the update was released. What I can tell you though is there will be a Happy Wars video tomorrow. Had little hints dropped that the Deathbringer set might just be coming out, plus there is some news with regards to the whole buff gem issue as well, but if the new set does come out tomorrow, then that sounds like a pack opening to me. Still got all those tickets on Xbox One just waiting for that mage set to come out. But that's going to be all for me today, so thank you guys so much for watching, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.